The Help to Buy ISA is a no-brainer for anyone saving for a deposit as a first-time buyer to get a mortgage. Why? Well, the state will bung you 25% extra on top of what you've saved, and that includes the interest. So I'm going to run briefly through how it works, but read the guide for full details. This is really an overview for those people who just need someone to look them in the eyes and tell them how it works first to see if it's right for them. So how does it work? Well, you can put £1,200 in the first month and then £200 in each subsequent month. The minimum amount you need to get the 25% added on top is £1,600 saved, which will give you a £400 bonus. And if you think you can do that very quickly, because you get 1,200 in month one, turn 200, then 200, that's 1,600. You can do it across 3 months. And as we're talking calendar months, you could technically do it, put money in on the last day of January for your first contribution, then put money in on the 1st of February and the 1st of March, and that spreads across 29 days. So even if you're quite close to the point when you're going to buy, as long as it's a few months away, it is worth getting yourself a Help to Buy ISA for the government to add the cash on top. So who can get it? Technically, anyone who is a first-time buyer can get this and put it towards a deposit. If you're buying with someone else and they're not a first-time buyer, you can have it, they can't. If you're both first-time buyers and you're buying together, you can both have one. Pretty good, that's £400 a month that you're putting towards it and the government's going to give you cash on top. The only exception, well, if you're buying a house that's going to cost you more than £250,000 or more than £450,000 if you're in the Borough of London, in the inner boroughs of London, then you can't use this one. But it can be used on any mortgage type, new build, shared ownership, help to buy mortgages, but it doesn't have to be a Help to Buy mortgage. And you don't have to get a Help to Buy ISA and then get that company's mortgage. You are free to get your Help to Buy ISA and take the deposit and the money and the bonus elsewhere. Who should be getting this? No-brainer for anyone who is planning to buy a house for the first time. And more than that, anyone who may be planning to buy a house for the first time in the future, even if you're not sure. And the reason I say that is, actually, the interest rates on Help to Buy ISAs are better than the interest rates on normal cash ISAs. Admittedly, you can put less in them, but you get better interest rates anyway, and then if you do use it for a home, the government will add cash on top. So why wouldn't you save in here? Even if you don't use it for a home in the end, well, you still get the interest, you can take your money out whenever you want, you just don't get the bonus. And there are split ISAs, as you'll read in the guide, which enable you to have both the cash ISA and a Help to Buy ISA at the same time. So you're not even losing out on the bigger amount. So if you think maybe in 5 or 10 years you might be planning to buy a house, you could start saving in this now if you've got the money. And more so, you have to be 16 or over to get one of these. So parents, you might actually, if you're looking to save for your children, this is a far more effective way to save even than putting money aside for their university fees, which can actually be a bad idea in some ways because of the way the system works, but I'm not going to go and get into that one now. So you put money aside for your kids from the age of 16, and if they want to buy a house later, they get the 25% boost on top. And the government said if you put money aside now, that boost will still be available up until 2030. So there isn't really a risk in doing this. And if they didn't use it by then, they just withdraw the cash and they don't get the bonus on top. Help to Buy ISA, no-brainer.